Yo guys, what's up? My name is Cozy Produced and today we make a beat breakdown on a little summer beat. Let's go. So guys, I started my sample as usual with my electric keyboard, my Electra 88 vintage keyboard, and I used a very swinging, a very nice sounding preset. And this is one of my chords, very simple, but I turned them into this. And I actually only did this. I turned this G one octave down and the C one octave down too for some bass notes, and for some high frequencies I added a higher G note. Yes, I did that on every single chord and I came out with this. Very beautiful harmonic chords. And I love the sound of the piano so much, so I added a little top line. And after turning both patterns into audio clips, I added some effects on them. So guys, the first thing I did was pitching both up 300 semitones, so it gives a little bit more of a summer and catchy vibe, especially to the chords. So the sound more dreamy and lush. These are the sounds without the effects, and firstly I added to both of the patterns a EQ that's like that. And after the EQ I added some compression to give the chords more room and present, to make them louder. Yes, and after that I added some master tape. It's a very nice plugin from UAD, so it gives a little bit more of a warm feeling. It gives more crunch, and if you listen with headphones, it gives a little bit more of crunch and texture to it. After that I added some dynamic stereo to give the sample a little bit more of a full room sound. It may sound a little bit distorted, but now the reverb will make it better. So I love this reverb. It's my favorite reverb plugin, the Lexicon 224, and I added here a 100% wet solo on this sample, so the sample sounded more like wet and in the background. And yeah, I boosted a little bit more than the other things, the mid and bass frequency, so the bass is sounding more like dreamy. And to that I added some Galaxy Tape Echo, also from UAD. So it gives back a little bit of distortion, and without the reverb it will sound like that. So it gives a little bit of a delay every time, but with a reverb, with a wet reverb, it sounds like that. Yeah. The reverb is excellent. And before I come to the drums, I come to the intro I made. So I made a little intro for the beat, and that's with my waterfall plugin from UED, and in my former videos you could already get to know this plugin. And yeah, you can see here I made an automation clip so that the intro isn't that boring, but you can hear the difference right now with and without the rotary speaker. It gives a little bit more of a dreamy sound, but with the automation clip I actually only switched up the balance here right now. You can hear the very difference. So if I spin on this knob, you can hear the difference between the balance of the drum and the high frequency. So basically like an EQ. Let's listen to the difference with the automation clip. Additionally, for a better drop, I added here a little riser effect. And here you can see all of my drums. I put them as audio clips in the playlist, so it gives a little bit better sounding drums, so that's very important for doing the drums. So let's listen to the drums only. Actually nothing special, but I like them. So it's very important to layer drums, so I added 2 kicks to this beat. So the first kick right here is the hitting kick, and the second kick here is the acoustic kick. Yeah, it's hitting too, but more of an acoustic touch. And together they sound like that. And yeah, for some rhythm I added some in-between kicks, not only these one beat kicks. I added here some rhythm, listen to that. Right now let's listen to my snare. I layered my snare sounds too, so let's listen to the first one. It's very dry and dumb snare, but with the second one it sounded very nice. And it has this little triangle note on top, so it's making that very beautiful. To that I added a hi-hat just for a little bit more of a rhythm. Yeah, and just for the groove, for the vibe, I added a little ride. You can hear it if you listen closely in the full beat. And some percussion, sort of a shaker. Yes guys, these are basically my only drums, and now I'll show you how I mix them. So without the drum bass, without the effects, they will sound like that. Not bad, but you hear on the snare and on all the drums how they end so rapid fast, so I didn't like that. So I added here some master tape. And here I added some Valve analog machines just to give it some more of distortion and to let it more kick. And to that I added here this Galaxy tape echo. It's brilliant for drums, so listen to the difference it makes. So you can hear it very clear on the snare and on the kick. How the tape echo does its job. So basically this is how my beat would sound right now. And yes, and to that I added on my melody, here you can hear it right now, some stutter effect on the end. I very like that because it sounded very good and just fitted to the beat and to rounded up the 4-bar loop better. Yeah. But I thought with only that the beat would sound a little bit dry and a little bit too boring, so I added here on the low a pad and a bass that comes in every few bars. So listen to that. So it's a switching part between a high pad and a low pad. And gives a little bit more of a groove and nice sound to the beat. So yeah, this is the pad and the bass together. Sounds very beautiful. And to the pad I added a panning automation clip, so it starts more on the left, goes to the right, then the pad here goes from the right to the left, and those pads I played in the middle, so it gives more of a texture and a nice sound. So you can hear now the pad without effects and then with effects. I thought the pad is a little bit too much in the background and too quiet, so I added some EQ and compression to boost more of the highs and to make it louder. To that I added some master tape just to give it more of a saturation. To that I added some stereo D chorus, it makes a very beautiful difference. And some saturation just to give it a more analog sound. If you listen to it closely, you can hear that little crunch in the background, it's very beautiful. So guys, before I come to the final beat, you can see here a little bridge section I did. It's just so only the kick plays, but with a high pass on the EQ, so the kick is sounding lush and doesn't get the punch as it should. So yeah, let's listen to the bridge right now. And here I added again this waterfall. You can see here the line of the EQ goes up, stays, and here it goes up again. So the kick is preparing for the new drop it came. So listen to it. And the rise, of course. So yeah, guys, this is my final beat. I hope you learned something from it, and yeah, let's listen to it together. And I hope you can hear a difference with what I explained and what I showed you.